What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Mongoose, and we're actually going to be doing our very first endpoint, meaning our very first API. So, let's get right into it. So what's up, guys? Today we are going to be talking about Mongoose and creating our REST API, our first one anyways. And we're going to start off with Mongoose, and we're going to actually visit their website. I want to get you guys used to visiting their docs, okay? Because you are going to have trouble later on down the road, and you need to know where to actually find the docs and all that stuff. Or you could just, Google it always and copy and paste like we usually do that. I mostly do that all the time, and I've been doing this for a very long time. So, this is where you go. You go to mongoosejs.com, you read the docs, and it gives you everything Mongoose gives. You could do with Mongoose, all right? We are going to be exploring most of these things throughout the node for beginners. We are going to be exploring through this mostly, but if we don't come across something that you need to know about, well, here's the docs, and you can just read it. So without further ado, first thing we're going to do is install Mongoose. npm I mongoose -- save. Okay, what Mongoose lets us do actually, and we're going to create another one, another JS. It's not going to be a test mongo.js. It's going to be something else. So I'm going to create a new file called server.js. So what Mongoose lets us do is actually connect to it, and it's better for me to show you, but I'm gonna try to explain it. It's gonna let us actually help us. You know how we did insert over here, the way we did it. Well, there's a shorter version with Mongoose, and it's better. It lets us define models or schemas, or however you want to say it, models or schemas. But we are gonna be going over Mongoose, and you'll understand it once we start going over this. So let's open up server, and we're going to get Mongoose from there. So var mongoose equals require mongoose. All right. So you know how we did callbacks? Well, we're going to be using promises, and Mongoose actually, can lets us do promises, and we actually have to define it though. So the way we're going to define that we're going to use promises with Mongoose is mongoose dot promise equals global dot promise. And there you go. That's it. We're telling our app that we're gonna use promise with Mongoose globally. This is basically this whole line right there. You don't have to declare it no more. This is all you have to do. Next stop, we're gonna have to actually connect our database to it, and it's gonna be similar to our old one. And there's a not a big difference, but there is a difference to it. So we're gonna do mongoose dot connect. And then our protocol, which was mongodb colon / localhost 27017, and then our database name, which was ToDo. All right. Before we move any further, I want to open up RoboMongo, and we're actually going to drop our database. This ToDo drop, we're going to drop it. So right click on it and then drop database. We're going to delete that database, and we're going to delete this one too. I don't know if you have it, but I have it. We're going to delete those two, and we don't have any more. As you can see, we do not have a ToDo database. All right, so the difference is, on the old one, let me open up the old one. The old one, we did Mongo client.connect, and then it actually took an error or client. So it gave us back our client, or it gives us an error. Well, right here, it will throw us an error if we do not connect. But the thing is, Mongoose is just waiting in the background for a connection to actually happen. So once you request something or you post something or something happens that you're trying to connect, Mongoose will notice it and try to connect to the database, and then it'll do the query that you want it to do. That's the great thing about this. We don't have to do it in order like we did over here, where we had to like go over here and start, insert many and all these things. You don't have to do that no more. In order, actually over here, now you can just define it and it'll connect once that endpoint hits it. Like if we try to post something, when it hits it, Mongoose notices it and then starts to connect it and then does the query that you wanted it to do. That's a great thing about Mongoose. But first things first, we are going to define a model or schema, however you want to pronounce it or define it. So we're going to do var ToDo, and you'll understand what a schema is once. A schema is basically the definition of a collection, like what goes inside of a collection, the doc. Okay, so we're gonna do Mongoose. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about once you see it. Dot model, and then we're gonna just best practice is actually okay. Model takes in 2 arguments. The first one is the string, and best practice is actually to take this var element and just stick it in here. And then we're gonna do an object, and this is where we're gonna define what our what every to-do should look like. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean every to-do is gonna have a text, right? And then we're gonna throw a object in there. Every to-do is gonna have if it's completed or not, right? We're gonna have an object in there, and every to-do is gonna be. I'm gonna add this one. This is a new one, but every to-do is gonna have a timestamp at when it was completed, right? So completed at, and it's gonna have an object. So what do you put inside these objects? Well, you're gonna basically define what the text is. Well, one simple thing we could do is the type of the text, right? The type will be a string. Okay, and we can also do that for completed. The type for completed will be a Boolean. And the type of a completed at, remember it's numbers because we're going to be doing timestamps. So type is going to be a number. And guys, you could actually say required. If text is required or completed is required or completed at is required, we could do required, the type, and we could do all sorts of things. I'm gonna leave it to you to actually look at things, but we are gonna be exploring those kind of things right now. But for now, we're gonna just leave it like this. And this is what a model is, guys. We're gonna model the to-do. What is a to-do supposed to look like? It's supposed to have a text. It's supposed to have a completed and a completed at. That's what a model is. We're just defining it here, okay? So down here, we're gonna create a to-do model, an actual object for the to-do. We're gonna do new. Or var new to-do equals, and we're going to do new because we are going to create a new instance of the to-do model. Wait, what? To-do? New to-do. And this takes in an argument, which is the object that we're going to actually put in. So the new to-do is going to have a text of, I don't know, walk the dog. And I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to even put the completed or completed at, although you can if you want to, but I'm not. And over here, we're going to actually save it. The way you save it with Mongoose is pretty simple. We're going to get the variable, the one we created. We're going to put .save, parentheses, and then since it's a promise, it's returning a promise, we're going to put .then. And this takes in the results, what happens, right? Result. Create a callback function. And this is also going to take another one, or we could just put .catch in the end. .catch, and we're going to countlog error. And we're going to actually say unable to save to do. And here we're gonna actually count a log. We're gonna log save to do, saved to do, because we actually did save it, and we're gonna just print it out with the result. And let's see what happens. Control save. We're gonna run it. That's a wrong command. So node server.js. We're gonna run it. And see what error I got this time. Oh, that doesn't matter. Don't worry about that right now, because you're supposed to pass it in as an option. So we're gonna just grab this. I keep on forgetting to do that. Control save. Now we run it. Yeah, you don't get it, but unable to save reference result is not defined. Oh, results. Sorry guys, results down here. All right, let's try it again. No. I don't want to download Mongoose again. I want to run this. All right, saved to do. You got the ID like we've seen before. We got the text, walk the dog, and we get this __ v0. That basically means the version of this model. In time, you will update this model, and once you do update it, Mongoose will notice it and actually change this version into like version 1, 1.1, 1.2, and so forth. So this is not worrisome right now. I mean, you don't even have to worry about it. It's just a version of the model right now. But we do get our stuff back, and if we go back to Robo Mongo, and we refresh right here, we do get the to do. We get collections to dos, and we get our walked dog. And notice that we do not have completed and completed. That's because with object or no SQL, we don't have to actually have everything we define in here. We don't have to have everything we define in here. That's the beauty of it. Like MySQL and all the other Postgres, all the other SQLs, if you define it like this, the database will throw an error saying that, hey, you do not have completed and you do not have completed that. We need those things in our database because you defined it. That's what SQL is. No SQL doesn't really care. It's like, okay, fine. If you don't have them, that's fine. So that's great. But I mean, this is basically it, guys. This is how you do things. And we are going to go, don't worry, we are going to do a little bit more. We're going to talk about validators, types, and defaults. So what do I mean by those three? Well, over here, we already talked about types, the type of string, boolean, number. If we go down here and actually try to we try to do it as an object like this, it will throw an error saying that you try to do a string and we got an object, so it will throw an error. But if you do a number, this will work. But the thing is, Mongoose is smart enough to actually cast this as a string. So if you do this, let me do it right now. If you actually do this and we save it, you are going to get the text 23. Oh, wait, I didn't even save it over here. I did it again. You're going to get the text 23 instead of the number. You see, it wraps it in quotes, so it's a text. So that's the great thing about that. But we are going to be doing some different things up here. So we're going to start validating our Mongoose. As you noticed, we did not get completed or completed at. We can actually make these required, like text. Let's say text. We actually want that to be required. So required, we're going to set that to true. Right now, by default, required is set to false. That's why you didn't have to add it. But if you do want to require it, then you would have to set it true. Another property we could add right here is actually min length. Min length. I don't even know min length. Min length. We could set that as many times or as many as we want. I'm gonna just do it as 1. Min length will be as 1. And we're gonna do one more. Trim. This one is important to, anyway, this one is important. You're gonna be using this a lot. Trim is true, meaning that if we have a quote down here and we have tons of spaces, it'll trim all the white space and just leave you with this. So if you have what and then follow along with a lot of spaces, it's going to trim all of these spaces and just leave you just with the word what. And the min length, obviously, if you don't have anything in here, it's going to throw an error. We have to have at least 1 in there. And plus, if you do this, it's going to throw an error. The reason why is because trim is going to trim all of this. and then it's going to leave you with min length is none, so it's going to throw you an error. I am going to put something right here, something to do right now, or actually edit video, right? And we're going to go down here now. Now a little bit more. We're going to go down here, and we're going to put there's a thing called default. All right. We're going to actually set a default for this, and the default we're going to set for this is false. And we're going to actually set a default over here. Default will be null. Yes, we could actually do null and undefined. So if you control save that, now notice that I only have text. I'm actually get out of this and save that. Oh, we get a null. All right, now let's try it. As you can see, it actually gives you completed at false, completed at null, ID this, and the text edit video. If you go back here, refresh the collections or the to do, you actually get, I get a lot more because I did it more times, but you actually get the false null edit video. And to actually get you more comfortable with this, guys, we're gonna actually create another model, and I want you to actually do it ahead of me. We're gonna create another model of users, okay? Now users is going to only have one property, which is email, but I want the string to be, I want the type to be a string. I want it to be required, and I want to trim all the white spaces, and I want the minimum length to be at least, well, you have to have the .com, so that's already 4. You have to have the @ symbol, right? So that's 5. I mean, 5, all right? So we're going to do that right now, and I don't want you to copy this. I want you to actually type it. I know I've been copying and pasting. Yes, I know. But to get it into your muscle memory on how to do it, we're going to actually write it over. So var, we're going to do user, and it's best practice to actually, when you're doing the models, uppercase the first letter. So user equals new, or a mongoose, sorry, mongoose dot model to be, remember, user, and it's going to take in the object of what it's going to look like. So it's going to look like we're going to have an email that's going to have all of these things. It's going to be a type string, it's going to be required, true, trim, true. I don't know why I had a comma there, and min length to 5. Okay, control save that. Now down here, we're going to actually create a var new user equals new user, and we're going to set the email, and I'm actually show you that it will throw you an error if you do not have anything in there. Control save this. I'm actually comment this one out. Control save it. Let's go back here, actually run it. Oh, sorry guys, get rid of this. Control save. That wasn't the error I was expecting. The reason I got that was because I had a semicolon in here, which you're not supposed to. Okay, so oh, sorry guys, exit out. we didn't even save it. We created it, but we didn't save it. So we're gonna put new user right here, dot save, and you probably caught that before I did. Dot then is gonna return the results. I'm gonna say a doc because that's what it actually returns. It returns a doc. We're gonna put log user saved, and we're gonna print out the doc with that. If there's an error, we're gonna put dot catch, and we're gonna console log unable to save user. We're gonna give it the error. Control save, and now we're gonna actually try to do it. And it's gonna give us a validation error. You see right here, validation error. Okay. Type required, and it actually tells you right here the message path email is required. Type required, path email, value is nothing. That's why it's telling you this. So it actually gives you pretty good information of why it's failing. Okay, and it also tells you up here, this is where the error's coming at. Oh, this is mine. Where's the one? That's from the other one. Oh well, it doesn't. It should tell you. Oh yeah, right here. Unable to save error, validation error, use validation failed. Email path email is required. It actually tells you up here, but it's more helpful down here. So we're gonna actually exit out of this, get out of that, and actually put an email over here. Put a g at example.com. Control save this. Now we save that. And if we look in our refresh, to do, collections, we get users and we get our object ID. So there you have it, guys. So now with this in place, we're actually going to create our first API. And to do that, we're going to actually download Postman, which is a tool that's going to help us test our, I guess it's going to test our APIs if they're good or not, even though we're going to be using Mocha to do that. But Postman actually helps us with the how it flows, the data flows. Okay. Postman, we're going to type in Postman in Google. We're going to get Postman right here, the first one. Download the app. Yes, sir. We're going to download it right there. I don't even have it, so I'm gonna actually have to downloading it. I'm gonna have to downloading. I'm gonna have to actually downloading it. I'm gonna actually have to download it. So just bear with me while you're actually downloading this as well. I hope you got it right here. Run it. And there's nothing to it, guys. It's just a straight nexting it. I will get back to you once this is done. So here we have it, Postman, and we're gonna do a quick thing. We're actually going to get Google. Remember, guys, this is just for like APIs. Like it's gonna give us, like we've done before with Express on the routes. It's gonna give us back the body, the headers, and everything that we need from that GET request or what we requested. So we're gonna actually do one right now. https://www.google.com. We're gonna actually grab that, and as you can see right now, it gives us the body. This is the body that it gives us. It gives us the status. You know, it's 200, which is everything went great. It gives us the time. It took us 136 milliseconds. That's extremely fast. The size of this body is 12.96 kilobytes or bits or whatever you want to say. The headers, it gives us the headers that that Google sent along with the GET request. And it gives us cookies. Wow, Google actually cookied us, and it's going to give us all the cookies that Google is sending. So this is great, guys. And I don't know if you remember, but we did use a API for Darknet. And if you don't remember that, it was for our weather app. I'm going to link it in the info card and in the description down below, so you could take a look at that. But I'm going to use that, the API Dark Sky. I'm gonna send that, and you're gonna see the same results. We don't have no cookies, but if we go back to the body, we do have all the things that we need, which is the weather for our weather application. So now you know a little bit about Postman, and we're gonna be using this to actually get some data. Like instead of actually writing over here the data that we want and then saving it and whatnot, we're gonna actually just push it in here, and it's gonna give us what it's going to look like if we did actually make that request with the data that we gave it. You'll understand a little bit more once we start using it. But for now, we're gonna actually go in here and actually start configuring our actual structure of the folder, because right now it's a mess, as you can see right now. So in Node, to do the actual root folder, we're gonna create another folder called, not rename, new folder, server. Okay. In this server, we're gonna actually create another folder called DB. No, not in there, in here. Okay. In DB, we're gonna create a file called mongoose.js. This is where we're gonna put our configuration for Mongoose in. Mongoose node.js. And in here, we're gonna actually just grab this, copy that, paste that in here. And we're gonna be exporting it because we're gonna be using it in other files. So module.exports equals, I'm gonna set it to an object, and we're gonna export Mongoose. Control save. Now we're gonna just move this server.js into our server folder, and we're gonna actually create another folder, and we are going to name that, or it's gonna be inside our server. Sorry, get rid of this. I'm gonna actually get rid of most of these things. Yeah, okay. Another is gonna be inside of our server, and it's going a folder. Remember, another folder called models. And this is where we're going to be storing our models. Oh, why in here in server? All right, models, right? So we do have two models, the ToDo model and the user. So we're going to create two files, ToDo.js, and no, in here, I don't know why it doesn't. It never wants to create it in here. New file, user.js. Go to server. We're actually going to grab those models. Get that one. That was a ToDo right here. And remember, this one's using Mongoose, so we're going to require Mongoose inside this file. So var mongoose equals require mongoose there you go. And we are going to be using this model on other files, so we do have to export it. So module.exports equals an object, and we're gonna the ToDo. Control save. Now we go on to the server, which is, the user, which is this model. Copy that, go to users, paste it. I'm just copy this because we do need it. And we need to export it, which I'm gonna just copy this and export it. Yeah, I'm a bit lazy right now. Well, I'm always lazy on actually typing. That's why you have copy and paste. So in here, I'm actually going to get rid of all of this. If you don't need it no more. But what we will need is var. We're gonna get mongoose. Not like that. The object mongoose. Equals require. And we need to get the we're trying to get it from the DB, this mongoose right here. So it's gonna be in the current directory. Oh god. The current directory, it's in DB/mongoose. I'm gonna do that 2 more times. This was going to be for ToDo, and it's in the not in DB anymore. It's in models/ToDo. And actually, I get rid of this and actually copy this one. And this one's users or user, and it's in the user. No. //user. And this is actually lowercase ToDo because we did name it lowercase down here. ToDo user. Okay. Now we will need to be installing Express. And another thing, so I'm gonna explain it. So npm I Express, that's right, Express, and we're gonna actually add in one more module You could download multiple modules. You don't have to keep on doing npm iexpress -- save and then do the other one. You can actually just put a space and add the other module you want to download, which in this case is going to be body parser. And what this does is actually, when we get the body back, instead of returning it as a string, it's going to return it as a JSON. So that way we could just send that to the JSON to the server, and the server could do whatever it wants with the JSON. It saves us more steps than what you realize. So we're going to actually add that. So -- save. And then, all right, that's done. Now in here, we are going to add it in our server. So var express, we're going to create an express app equals require express. And then I want to try this. Oh, look at that. You can do it. Body. Crap. But best practice is right here is parser like this, but this one actually does the dash parser. Parser. Just like that. These could be, all of these could be consts. Or this one at least can be a const. Okay. So now that we have all that set up, we're gonna create a simple express app. So you should know how to do this already. If you don't, please look at my other videos. It's pretty simple. We're gonna create an express app just like this, and then we're gonna put app.listen. We need to listen for whoever goes to our application. We're gonna go to port 3000, and this time I ain't gonna get a callback. No, not a promise. I'm gonna just log out. Start it on port 3000. And in here, we're gonna actually get data from the user, and we're gonna actually post it to the database. We're gonna just, we're gonna grab the data from the user, and we're gonna create something from the database. The way you create something is actually post. Okay, so you got the methods get, you got the method post, you got the method update, and also the method delete. All right, these are called the CRUD operations, which is create, read, update, and delete or destroy, however you want to do it, but delete. All right, create, we're going to be doing that first, which is the post method. The way we do that is simple. We've done it before with getting or the read operation, which is get.get, right? This is going to get something from the database, but we actually want to post something to the database. So what you do here instead is post, and everything else is the same. We're going to go to the ToDo URL. So it's going to be localhost :3000 and then / the ToDo route. Okay. We're going to get the rec res. This is right here. From here on out is pretty much standard, guys. You should know how to do this. All right, but like I said, when we receive data from the user, from the front end, from the from the client side, when we receive that in the back end, that data is in stringified, right? This is why we downloaded body parser, so that way we could actually parse out the data that they sent into a object. Okay, we need to tell Express we want to use body parser, so that way we don't have to keep on doing JSON parse. We don't have to do that no more. We actually just tell Express we want to start using it. So app is going to be a middleware. So app.use, we're telling Express we want to use it in all our routes. Body parser.json. And that's basically it right there. Now we don't have to do json.parse and then the rec.body. Okay, so in here we're going to log out the rec.body, and we're going to see what we get. Okay, let's go to Postman and start using it. I'm going to show you how to use it real quick. I need to run it. So node, what was this? Where is this at? It's in server.js, so it's inside server. So node server slash server.js. Started on port 3000. Okay, that's fine. Now in here, we're gonna actually call our API, our post route. Okay, the way we do that is inside of, it's not gonna be a get no more. We actually click on that and we're gonna actually do a post. Okay, and in here we're gonna do localhost, because this is where we're gonna start doing our stuff. Remember, 3000 / the route we use. Okay, which was ToDo. So / ToDo. Actually, it's going to be ToDo's. I'm going to actually change this to do's. Save it and actually run this again. You don't have to do that right now, but I don't know why. I have that thing where something's wrong. I got to fix it before I do anything. All right. In our body, we're actually going to send data, okay? Let's open a new one. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna just copy this. I'll open up a new one because I still have the data from here. You can actually delete it, but I'm gonna actually use that later on, so I'm gonna just leave it right there. As this is going to be a post, paste that. Just go to body right here, and what we're going to do, let me redo it. You're gonna click on raw, and you're gonna click on JSON. Right now it should be on text. You want it to be in JSON because we're gonna be sending JSON to our server. So in here, we're gonna actually put in the object that we want to define. We want to define text to be from, this is from postman 2, because I think I already did it once. So if you hit send, this should be loading. That's because we're not returning nothing back. But if you actually look down here, I didn't start my server. Let me start my server, sorry. Now if you send it, you should get, this is from postman 2, which means it's working great. Now anybody could hit our endpoint and we can actually save their things. Okay, they're ToDo. All right, now that we have this in place, we could actually start saving things to the database. Okay, so instead of this console log, we're gonna actually, save a ToDo in our database. Okay. So how do we do that? So it's the same thing as before, guys. We do have our model up here. So down here, we're going to create a new one. So var ToDo equals new ToDo. And it's going to take in the data that we want. So text, it is going to be from our rec.body .text, because before when we did rec.body, it gave us the object back, and from that object we want the text property. That's why we have that .text right here. All right, right there, this is that. Now we need to save it, so we're gonna do ToDo.save, right? And then then, which is going to give us a dog back if we did it successfully. And if it did it successfully, it's gonna give us a dog, and we're gonna just, we're gonna send it right back at them. So res.send doc. Now, if it does not come back to us, we're gonna catch the error. Right? We're gonna catch the error, and we're gonna respond with a status code. So we are going to set this. Oh crap, what did I do right there? We are going to set the status code to 400, because over here by default it does send the status code to a 200. Okay, so we need to define if it's an error. We actually need to send the status code, which is best practice to actually send status codes, guys. You have to send status codes. We're going to send a 400 status code, and we're also going to send the error. Okay, of what happened, what went wrong, and what not. So now if you actually run, I think you can run it without restarting the server. Oh, well, you have to restart the server. Every time you make a change to a JS, you have to restart the server. Don't worry, we are going to be using Mongo later on, so we don't have to keep on doing this, okay? I'm just say right here, this is from Postman making a new to-do. Now, if you send it, you do get it back. If you scroll down, you do get the body back. Say completed false, completed at null, the ID and the text, whatever. And if you actually open up Robo, let's look it up. Robo. Look at the 7th one. You should get, this is from Postman making a new to do. Now, what happens if you actually make a wrong thing? Okay, let's send in an empty string. Remember, it shouldn't be empty, and if it is, it should throw out an error. So if you send that, you get an error message, which is great. Now you have that status code of 400 bad requests, and it gives you the message right here. Look, message to do validation failed. To do validation failed. Text path text is required. This is great, guys. So that said, guys, we have actually created our first endpoint to this, okay? Next video, we're going to actually include Mocha, and we're going to start testing it in the back end as well. And we're going to start doing more endpoints in the next video. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please leave a like or a dislike. Leave a like, click like or click dislike. And leave a comment down below if you're getting some value out of this, or if you actually want me to do a tutorial on Postman or something else. Please leave a comment down below, and I would be more than glad to actually, do a tutorial over something that you want, or if you need help with anything. People need help. So please leave a comment down, like or dislike, and please consider subscribing, guys. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video.